How does the new Gozney Tread hold up against its older siblings? Today we're looking at the differences between the new Tread versus the Arc and the Arc XL. First off, let's start with what they all have in common. They all have a side burner, which I love. On the Rock Box, having it in the back, it's sometimes hard to see the crust, or like on the Unicoda 16 where it's an L shape, that back corner is the hottest part of that oven, and sometimes crust gets burnt. Whereas here on the side, it's much easier to see. Every single one of them exhausts out the front. All of them tend to get this black soot buildup on it. Not much to do about that except wipe it clean. All three of these have corderite stones. We'll go into detail on the thickness and size later. The Tread can cook up to 12-inch pizzas, the Arc 14-inch, and the Arc XL 16-inch. Granted, on all of those sizes, it's a very, very tight fit. The Tread weighs 29.5 pounds. The Arc comes in at 47.5, and the Arc XL is 58.5 pounds. So quite the jump from the Tread up to the XL. It's twice the weight, pretty much. Now let's see how long they take to get up to temp. Put my thermometer in them, and let's go ahead and look at a comparison here. So, blue, we got the Tread, which you could just see right out of the gate. This thing gets up to temp much faster than the Arc and the Arc XL. We got the XL in red and the Arc in green. So our target benchmarks, hitting 850. The Tread, we got 23 minutes. The Arc, we got 39 minutes. And the Arc XL coming in at 33 minutes. So quite the difference between the Tread and the Arc. And I've noticed that before when I compared these two, is the Arc XL does heat up a lot quicker than the Arc. We got coming up at 950 degrees. The Tread's 31, Arc is 62, Arc XL is 49. And the 1,000-degree benchmark, 41 minutes on the Tread, 82 minutes on the Arc, and 65 minutes on the Arc XL. So in terms of heat up time, the Tread blows these things out of the water. Now let's take a look at recovery time. This is a test I like to do where we preheat the stone to 850 degrees, let it sit for about a half hour, and then we'll launch a pizza on 850 degrees, cook it as normal for a minute and a half, then we take the pizza out, we temp it, and we time how long it takes to get back up to 850. So on all these ovens, so the Tread, we're coming in at 2 minutes 45 seconds, the Arc 4 minutes, and the Arc XL 3 minutes. So these things are super close, which the Tread obviously gets up to temp a lot faster, so I think the Arc XL is doing a lot better on the heat retention because of that thicker stone. I think it's holding a lot more heat and it doesn't need to get back up to temp as quick. Can't remember if I have the data still. I'll look and see if I can show it on the screen between the Tread, the temp when we pulled it out, and the Arc XL, the temp of the stone when we pulled it out. Okay, so now let's look at heat distribution. So this is a test. We let it get up to 850 degrees. It's already been preheated. We launch the pizza on full blast, let it cook for a minute and a half. Do not turn it because we want to see the heat distribution throughout the oven. All three of these are very similar. Let's go ahead and take a look at the picture here. I'll show all three and label them. All of them are super hot on the left. Around the back, it's still cooking really well. I'd say the top half of all of those cooks really well. Only difference is the Tread, the front half there, especially the bottom left, doesn't seem to cook as well as the Arc ovens. Granted, I do feel like, I tested these Arcs like a year ago. I think I may have let them get up to temp a little longer than the Tread, because with the Tread heating up so much faster, you would expect it to burn like the others. So take it with a grain of salt. But overall, the heat distribution through these is going to be very similar. Now let's talk pricing. All the prices are as of the release of this video. We've got the Tread coming in at $499, the Arc coming in at $699, and the Arc XL $899. So $400 more for this puppy over the Tread. And they've raised the price since they initially released these ovens. So $900, that's a lot. Although Gozney's quality is pretty good, especially compared to my Unis I've had. Their quality just hasn't seemed to be as good as Gozney's. And I'm not an ambassador. Again, I paid for all these ovens with my own money. None of these ovens were sent to me by Gozney, okay? So propane usage, the Tread uses 12,500 BTUs per hour. The Arc, 14,400, and the Arc XL, 17,500. And after looking at those numbers, the Tread, they did a better job on this burner, I feel like, because it's getting up to temp way quicker than the Arc. And it's using a little bit less propane, but not drastically less. Let's talk portability. All three of these ovens, I feel like were designed pretty well. We're designed pretty well to be moved. So with the Arc and the Arc XL, you've got these handles under here where you can pick up the oven. And the great thing about these handles is they don't heat up. I've had these things running for hours, cooking for pizza events, and you can still grab here. These sides here are hot. You gotta be careful about the sides, but you could still move this oven around by grabbing down here, these handles. And even this one, the 60 pounder, with the handles here, you can at least kind of lean it back on you and move it around. But the Tread, by far, is the easiest to pick up and move around. This thing comes in half the weight of this. It's got the handles up here. It does have this sweet table, but you gotta pay extra for it, it's like $100. But I do love the addition of these handles, being able to move this thing around, especially for this being targeted as being so portable. One of the gripes I've had about the Tread is usually I use a 20-pound propane tank, which when filled weighs more than the Tread itself, so it kind of ruins its portability. So I did a video showing how you can use a little converter to use a 1-pound propane tank. Had a bunch of people leave a comment about Ignik, probably pronouncing it wrong. A bunch of people were saying, buy a 5-pound Ignik propane tank. They're much lighter. So I actually reached out to them and they sent me a free one. They just, no questions asked, just sent me a free Ignik. Didn't even have to like sell my soul. So super nice company, they sent it to me. So on some of our future adventures, I'm gonna be using this thing for when we bring these camping. So definitely the Tread at this point is the most portable. Really wanting to get my hands on a stand. They're not available yet, but that's gonna really elevate this oven. But on the other end, it's $250, so that ups the price of this significantly. So that stand better be sweet. Let's go ahead and kind of compare the insulating factor on these. So I got a picture here from Gozney's website. This is the Arc XL, they're pretty much the same. But you can see over top, they've got a bunch of insulation on the inside. And then they've got the thick stone, and then underneath, they've got this hard white kind of stone. I don't know what it's made of. Smarter people than I can throw it in the comments. But it's a nice thick base, right? Whereas the Tread, the top arch insulation here is very similar to the Arcs, but the bottom just has that stone. It's a thinner stone, and it has nothing underneath. It's actually just an air gap, which I know they've marketed this to cool down really quick. So it's definitely not gonna retain heat as much as these, but it still does have that insulating up top. The nice thing with the Tread is that the stone here can be removed. Actually, all three of these stones can be removed. These ones are not held in place. The Tread has this clip up front here that screws down and holds it in place, which I really like because you can remove the stone if you need. But also it's not gonna bounce around in the back of your truck or back of your car, which I worry about with the Arcs. Let's take a look at the stones. We've got Tread, Arc, Arc XL. You can see these two, thickness-wise, exact same. So these two are 0.8 inches or 20 millimeters. The Tread's coming in at 1/2 inch or 12 millimeters. So quite a bit thinner. Even if you look at that difference, it's like 40%. I have to do the math. I'll put the math up there. What percentage it is, like 40%, somewhere around there. Let's look at the sizes. So we've got our 12-inch pizza cutout on the Tread. You can see here, pretty snug. This isn't exactly 12 inches, but pizzas aren't either. Pretty snug. You do have room forward and back. So when you're launching, you got some room. That's something I've liked on the Arcs as well, is they've got length. So even here, the 12-inch, you've got, 1.5 inches on each side, or inch, somewhere around there. But still you have room when launching to kind of alternate between front and back, which on the Arc XL, this is something I do a lot. I'll launch the pizza back here, then I've got a door that kind of covers this front stone, and then I'll launch it here and alternate, and I'm able to cook pizzas just infinitely And then just like a little comparison here, this is the exact cutout shape of the rock box. So you can see that comparison there. It's a little bit deeper. So it's pretty much, I mean, if you come up here, you're just losing the corner on the stone, and then there's some area back here. So pretty cool to see the difference between the rock box and the tread. Overall, that's your difference here, because on the Arc XL, you can cook a very tight 16-inch pizza. You do have more room if you're learning. If you don't launch perfectly and you need more room to turn it in the oven, these two ovens are going to give you more room. Tread is going to be pretty tight. There's some other key differences between these three ovens. The tread does not have a digital thermometer up front like the Arcs. It has one like the rock box on the side, just like a dial thermometer. It does have this table attachment I mentioned earlier. I've cooked out, I've cooked outdoors with it and prepped my pizza on top of here, cut my pizza on top of here. I haven't done this yet, but you can cook with cast iron or whatever and set it on top. So it is pretty versatile. Really wish they'd come with a peel. Only the rock box tends to do that, seems to do that now. I wish they would have designed a peel that would fold and like fit and lock in with this whole mechanism here, so it's easy to tote around and you always have your peel with you, where this is nice and compact, but then you still gotta haul your peel around. So which of these ovens is right for you? I've given you guys as much data as I can to help you with your decision. I'm gonna come out and say my 2 cents are, most people, I would say, between the Tread and the XL. For the price difference between the Arc and the Arc XL, I would almost always rather be able to cook 16-inch pizzas, has a little bit, quicker of a heat up time. And if it's gonna be mostly sitting out in your back patio anyways, the weight doesn't matter that much, but it's still portable enough, you could take it somewhere. Unless you're like a catering business that you need lighter pizzas with a good stone underneath, so it kind of knocks the tread out, then you'd go with the Arc, but I feel like that's a minority of people. So you really just gotta figure out what you want more. Do you want it portable, be able to take it places, have it really light, or do you wanna pop it in your backyard, cook a lot of pizzas on it for a lot of people, have that great stone for retention? You gotta figure out what you're gonna be using that pizza oven for. In my mind, all of them are great buys. I have never bought a Gozney and regretted it, aside from my dome natural gas. Got a whole other video on that, has issues heating up on time. So there's things you can do for it, but that's my only gripe I've had so far with Gozney pizza oven. I really hope this video helped you guys out. Let me know if you guys have any additional questions on any of these pizza ovens. Thanks for stopping by.